I got one of my first real prints. It's not really like a test print, but an actual trying to make functional parts. So I just lifted up the tray as high as it could go, and there's just like a chunk of cake basically in there, and kind of brushed it a little bit with my brush, but I'm going to take it out. And I also got this spiffy new $50 computer off of eBay, so I don't have to have my good computer, constantly being running this thing the whole time. So now I got a dedicated computer just for the machine. Anyway, here, let's see if I can do this with one hand here. It's kind of it's a weird thing because it's like a powder. So it's just like you grab it and the outside edges are really, really, really soft. So like it'd be easy to just drop this thing. So I'm gonna leave it in my little tray here and see what I can pull out of it. Now this particular build had like 40 different 3D prints in it. So I'm gonna be pulling stuff out as I excavate. So far I like what I'm seeing. I'll pull one of these off. Now usually when I test prints, they're just kind of in the middle of the mess, but this one's got so many little interconnected pieces that it's going to take a while for me to extract all of them. But this is all a really good sign that I'm seeing clean edges. There's no drifting, no curling. Yeah, this is all looking kind of good. So far I don't see anything breaking off either, which is the other concern I had, is maybe it'll... It's kind of one of the problems. I developed this plugin in Maya to let me nest these things in a lot closer than what like Sintratec software can do, and like they're so close together. This one here is probably a millimeter apart. This one may be even smaller than a millimeter right here. So you can't really get a brush in there. But we'll just work our way through it and see how it works. No, this is all just the perimeter stuff. You can't even pick it up because it just crumbles in your hands. Yeah, they're so close together. Maybe I might have to optimize my algorithm so that it's not so fine. I mean, it's nice that I can jam in much more parts, but it's getting a little tight here. Oh, there we go. We got one off. Like that. And this is the castle nut for my assembly. And it's looking pretty good. You can even read the writing a little bit on there. I was pushing it with my lettering on this particular part, but the other parts have bigger lettering and it's not as yeah, not as fine. Awesome. Alright, so there we go. Got one of them done right there. Well, not really done, but close. There's a little thread inside there because it's a castle nut, so I gotta clean up the gunk on there. Another thing that I'm doing with these is sealing them with a like a high temp chemical resistant sealant as well. But yeah, that's not bad. So the lettering didn't really turn out. I mean, it's real small. This is probably only 2 millimeters tall. So, like, I'm pushing it, trying to get this thing to work. But there we go. Nice. Anyway, I'll just leave it on. So these are the cam links that connects the camshaft to the, or the cam driver to the spring. Oh, they look great. And I did it in two different ways, one with a slope and one on its side. I think I'm going to leave it on the side. This looks nice and strong. There's a couple of them. I'm just going to make a bunch of them because it's typically the element that breaks on these things, so now I'll have a huge supply of them. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay. There's a little hole in the back of this thing too. You can kind of see right there, but that's going to need to be drilled out. I mean, it's there, but it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. There's the little hole. Oh man, this is awesome. Break off a bunch of these castle nuts. Kind of just fill all of the parts in. So I got lots of extra castle nuts and stuff. I don't really need that many castle nuts, but since it's going in there anyway, might as well just fill it up. This is so cool. Now, there's some ways I can print this thing so it'll actually improve its strength even more. I'm gonna look into that. Dealing with like the perimeters and stuff. There's another one. I can't get it apart. Big huge clump. There, I'll work my way around. Oh, there's another one. Looks like more cam links. There it is. This is like outstanding. I was paying 12 bucks for each one of these things. Right here. Just for that, to have them outsourced. So, this is already saving me a whole bunch just right here, just like this. So this is the cap, and this is the one thing I don't know. I mean, I printed it because why not? Just fill it up, right? But the big question is the cap, there's these little holes in the end here, and are they gonna blow out? Like, how can I get them out, basically? Put it on and like, I gotta get my brush in there, so I need a different type of brush. But this is already looking good. Like, there's my writings on there, my brand. Like, this is pretty awesome. So there's also some holes on top here, but these seem to be coming out a lot easier. I mean, that's kind of amazing to me. This thing was just printed, like, you know, all night, but it was still warm just a little while ago, and it's cool. It's hard. It's rigid. Like, this could, I think this is like already ready to use once I seal it. And I just get it in there lightly. But this is already looking good from the inside. And some more castle nuts. I think the temps are just right. Well, that one looks better. So it writes better vertically rather than horizontally. Oh yeah. So if the castle nut's vertical, it appears to write better. So these are all the parts that I printed. This is the first round of successful prototypes that I got. I just loaded the bed up with lots of geometry. So it was just basically one unit, and then all the extra pieces are just around it. And the precision on this thing is outstanding. I mean, like, this is supposed to be held in by bolts, but it's just, it fits perfectly. Like, it's almost hard to get out because it nests in just exactly where it's supposed to be. And then the cam spins on this thing. If I can hold it and spin it at the same time. But it spins, like, it's just wild how amazing this is. And it has a little snap top feature on here. I mean, like, the precision on this thing is so amazing. The writing is okay. You can kind of see it in the right light, but the writing's not really that important. Like, it's better if you have it. Like this one here, you can see the little lines in there, because I mounted this one on an angle in the bed. But this one I just laid flat, which is against their rules. They say not to do that because it makes such a big surface, but it's so perfect. Like, laying it flat makes it look really nice, so if you're lucky you don't have any issues. And then also, like, the writing worked better on the ones that were sloped. I think this one was a sloped one, so you can kind of see it better. And then the other, like this writing here, was a 2mm. This is 2 millimeters thick, so it's already pretty small to put writing on. But if you put anything that you want with writing on a slope, it kind of writes a little bit better. And then I have a million of these cam links. I mean, this is outstanding. Like, the cam links, before I was paying over $7 a piece, and now this is just left over. This is just like, oh, you got extra space in the bed, then just fill it up. So now I have a million of these things, and yeah, overall, there was only one that fused together because it was too close. So you got to make sure you have at least one layer of powder between. So I'm going to take a knife and break this apart. But this kind of goes to show how strong of a connection this is. Like, that thing is only held together by a little spot of maybe a millimeter of powder, and I cannot break this apart. Oh, there we go. Push really hard. I got the other one to snap. I'm just going to take a knife in there and pry it apart. But, like, that's how strong these prints are. It's very durable. So, I'm pretty impressed with the whole thing. You know, like this cap here, I don't know if I can take it off with one hand. I can. So this cap here is basically like a millimeter thickness. And it's pretty durable. I mean, it's pretty impressive, actually. The writing on here is really nice. That turned out even better, but this is a slightly bigger font that I used. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the whole process.